game became more global, and we were much more aware because of television, and see games being played in Argentina, in South Africa, in New Zealand, Australia, all on the same Saturday. And of course, the coaches became far more international and global, and so everybody was taking a little bit from everybody's game. And when the game was becoming more and more professional, even in attitude, let alone being paid, I don't mean fully professional, then the important man became the coach. Coach became very, very important. And then once you start coaching people, it's easier to coach people to stop people scoring, rather than acknowledge that the attack would be better. It is much more difficult to involve people in positive attacking play. It's much easier to stop people. So I think the game became bogged down, for want of an English word. Bogged down, I mean, you know, it's like having a muddy field. It restricts your attacking mentality and attacking prowess. So it's not just a one-word answer, but the game then started to develop a more negative aspiration. Stop the opposition. Became bigger forwards, controlling the ball. Don't risk. Don't take risks. When we first played against France and Wales, and France played against Wales, we were in many ways at times throwing caution to the wind. Not necessarily because we wanted to show people some nice movement. It was because it gave the players themselves the thrill of scoring a try with good passing, you know. But then the game became more about tackling, stopping, and negative. And I think France went through that period. Wales did it. Wales did it prior to our time, when Clive Rowlands, as a kicking scrum half, with you could throw 4 men lineouts. You just win the ball, give it to Clive, who would kick to touch. In one game against Scotland, there were 111 lineouts in the game. Well, okay. Nobody's going to start watching rugby when that happens.
Oui, bien évidemment. C'est vrai que à l'époque, le jeu était quand même un peu différent, dans la mesure où il y avait pas mal de mêlées, pas mal de touches, donc la continuité du jeu était parfois un peu hachée. D'autre part, on jouait pas comme aujourd'hui, dans la mesure où les avants avaient un rôle de soutien. Il y avait une touche, il y avait une mêlée, et si le ballon partait un peu au large, les avants soutenaient. Et c'est eux qui assuraient la continuité lorsqu'il y avait un blocage. Le jeu se faisait beaucoup plus debout dans le sens où il y avait beaucoup plus de molles que de mêlées de ruck. La tendance aujourd'hui, c'est évidemment inversé. Les molles ont donné lieu à des organisations très spécifiques. Les Gallois, eux, quand ils faisaient un molle, il y avait une organisation particulière qui a été après reprise. Les autres nations n'utilisaient pas cette organisation. Et évidemment, le spectacle, quelquefois, n'était pas à la hauteur. Mais ce que je retiens, moi, du jeu des Gallois de mon époque, c'est par exemple un joueur comme J.P.R. Williams a apporté une dimension au niveau des contre-attaques très intéressante, à savoir qu'il remontait le ballon, il allait rechercher l'adversaire. A contrario, moi j'étais plutôt dans le style, je m'intercale, j'essaie de jouer le surnombre ou de le créer. J'étais pas dans ce registre, mais ça a permis au jeu d'évoluer. à savoir qu'on est passé d'un jeu beaucoup plus latéral et de débordement à un jeu qui est devenu un peu plus physique. Et J.P. William y a contribué, puisque après lui, on a vu arriver beaucoup de joueurs, pas seulement au niveau des avants, mais aussi au niveau des lignes arrières, qui ont ont permis de mettre en difficulté l'adversaire en allant sur des affrontements beaucoup plus directs.
Yeah, yes, very much so. And I think that over time develops a far more negative approach than what in essence looked like a very carefree, but of course individual skills were exceptional. And to put it in a statement, I've tried to explain to people the difference between rugby during those early days of my career and now. We used to play the game to avoid contact. That is, you know, there were people trying to not get. Today they play to engage contact, and that's the game becomes a lot more negative then, because, as you said, it's not only just the fullbacks. It was new to the game. I remember Pierre himself. You know, you had to be very careful on how you kicked the ball out of defence, because if you kicked it to the wrong person, like Pierre, then counter-attack was on, and that's why they were so successful in the way they played. But you're right, we utilised JPR Williams as a running fullback. The Australians really knew they had to change the way they played the game, because they were competing against so many other sports in Australia, and they introduced the no kicking direct to the touchline, and it did invigorate, and it did make people want to be far more proactive in the way they played the game, rather than defensive and just kicking the ball out, another line out, kick the ball out, another line out. We started seeing that that open rugby that we're talking about back in those days.